Okay, so this is our interface now. So I want to know what is the table name. I forgot. Show databases. Okay, so we are using Anadeep Deep Tech actually, right? Use Anadeep Deep Tech and show tables. Okay, we have Deep Tech employee and Deep Tech employee address as a tables in the Anadeep Deep Tech. Okay, we are going to work on them. Okay, so select star from Deep Tech employee. Okay, we have I mean a list of employees and we are getting the data. Okay, so actually we are getting these data in our Java application by using this particular syntax, right? Yesterday we had a discussion on this. Okay, if you run this program, okay, see, we are getting the values. Okay, we are fetching the values directly from the Java application. Okay, now we need to insert. Okay, I need to insert some data. Okay, I need to insert some data into the, okay, database by using our Java application. Okay, let's do this. So here we can create a new class, demo on JDBC 2, demo on JDBC 2. Okay, and we need a main method for sure, and click on the finish. Okay, this is our demo JDBC2. This particular this particular file is used to, okay, insert the data into the database. Okay, we need to insert. Okay, so what is the first step, ma? What is the first step to work with the database and all?
Import.
Yes, obviously.
Java.sq.
Very good. We have to import java.sql file. After importing, what to do? After importing, we have to register the driver, na? We have to register the driver to get the connection, no? So that's why we are using class dot for name. Okay, in the class dot for name. So do you remember what is the, okay, driver name of the MySQL? What is the driver name?
In
Com dot, not in, com. Okay, com dot
.msql dot
cj.
cj
Very good.
dot jdbc
Hmm.
dot driver.
Driver. Okay, D should be capital in the driver. Okay, so maybe it will raise some exception, so that's why we can declare a exception at the main method. Throws exception key. Okay, maybe throws exception. Okay, so after registering the driver, no, we need to get the connection, so how to get the connection? So to get the connection we needed different things. Like, what are the different things that you need to get the connection? String. The first one is URL, right? What is the second one? Second one,
Username and password.
the name, very good. And we need a
Password.
password. Okay. So what is the URL to connect our database?
JDBC MySQL
JDBC,
MySQL
MySQL,
local host
yes, local host. What is the port number? Double three
3306
double three zero
06
six. Slash
slash
our
table name.
database name.
Sorry,
Database name.
database. Sorry,
Okay.
database.
So I think our database name should be Anadeep Deep Tech, na?
Yes.
So databases. Anadeep Deep Tech is our database. Okay. Anadeep Deep Tech is our database. And what is the username? The default username will be root.
Root.
and password for my account is 90596. Okay, so this is the okay credentials that we need to get the connection. Okay, after having the after declaring the okay credentials and everything, now we have to get the connection con equal to driver manager. Okay, we have to use the driver manager class. In the driver manager class we have a one method called get connection. Okay, in the get connection you have to pass URL, username and password. Okay, we have to okay pass username, URL and password to the driver manager dot get connection method. Okay, so after creating the connection and after doing everything, so we have to do something else. Okay, now we need to push the data na we need to push the data into the okay database. So here you can use one query to push the data. Okay, see I am creating one query here, string okay query equal to okay string query equal to, let's write something. Okay, insert into okay insert into what is the table name, deep tech employee, right? Deep tech employee, and the values should be okay. I think we have values till 105. I thought deep tech employee. Okay, we have values till 105. So here I am giving 106. Okay, and the username, the employee name will be something about um, Jack. Okay, Jack, and the domain. Okay, the domain of Jack is Java. Okay, and his salary would be around 35,000. Okay, this is what we want to insert into the deep tech employee address. This is a query that we have created. Okay, after creating the query, so we have to prepare one statement, huh? So just as of now, okay, we have three different statements. Okay, first one is statement, prepared statement and a callable statement, right? So actually as of now I want to use only statement. I don't want to use prepared statement to push the data. Okay, I don't want to use prepared statement, I just want to use a statement. Okay, so let's create a statement here. Statement st equal to, now we need to create a statement on dot sorry on dot create statement. Okay, we have created one statement. Okay, now by using this particular statement we have to insert the query, we have to execute the query. Okay, so actually when you are using dml commands, okay, dml ddl commands, okay, so these are the things. This particular method, this particular code is updates the table in the MySQL. It updates the table in the MySQL, right? So that's why here we have to use execute update method. Actually, in the previous program, we use execute query method. Okay, we use execute query method. Okay, so here we are just executing the query and we are fetching the data, right? But here we are updating the values of a table. We are updating the values of a table. So that's why, okay, so that's why we have to use something else. Okay, here you can use uh, you know uh, st dot execute update, execute update, execute update, and you have to pass the query to it. Okay, so if you pass query, okay, if you pass query to this, okay, so it will return. Okay, here you can see one row is affected, 11 row is affected. Okay, you can see. Okay, so number of rows affected by that query na, so it will return the integer, okay, how many number of rows is affected by executing our update. Okay, it will return on an integer for us. Here you can see the messages. Okay, here in the messages you got 11, you got 0, 2, 5, 11, 5. Okay, so by running the command that we wrote, okay, those lines, okay, 11 rows, okay, is returns, I mean 11 rows is affected by our query. Okay, so second thing, 0 rows affected by our query. Okay, second row, okay, 2 rows affected by our query. Okay, so here we are getting, okay, the number of rows affected by the query. Okay, so it is an integer, right? So here you can write on integer to count how many number of lines is affected by running this particular command. Okay, you can get how many number of lines or how many number of rows is affected by updating this particular query. Okay, so here you can print the this count value, as you know, system.out.println. Okay, see, mm, count rows affected. Okay, number of rows affected. Okay, see, let's run this code on a Java application and click OK. And one row is affected. Okay, one row is affected. So let's check here. Okay, let's run this command again. See, we have 106 jock Java 35,000 salary. Okay, we got it. Okay, we got the jock details. Okay, so let's check with the, okay, our Java thing. Okay, we have, okay, I mean retrieval the thing na. Okay, by using this particular code you can retrieve the data, right? So here you can retrieve the data. Let's check how much value we are getting. See, in the last, we are getting Jock details also. Jock is working in Java with the package of 35,000. Okay, so this is how you need to insert a table, I mean a row into the table. Okay, very simple program. Isn't it clear, boys and girls? Inserting the data into the table of MySQL. Is this clear,
Can
guys?
you repeat the statement?
Statement here, this one.
Yes, sir.
What is the matter, like, so actually we need a one statement to execute na. So here also we are using one statement. Okay, here also we are using one statement. Okay, so you have to create a statement. By using the statement you can execute. Okay, after creating the statement, execute the query by using the statement. Okay, statement is a container where you can pass your query. Okay, it creates a one basic space to store your query. Okay, so that's why we are using, see, okay, we are using this statement object. Okay, we are using this statement object when we are executing the update. Okay, so it will create a one empty space. It's like a container to you. Okay, to execute
Okay, sir.
your
Okay, got
query.
it.
And we have three types of statements actually. So yesterday I told you about prepare statement also na. So we have discussed the prepare statement, callable statement. So what is the use of prepared statement, ma? What is the use of prepared statement?
It is used to insert values into the table.
But we are not using the prepared statement here, ma. Generally prepared statement is used to insert the values into the table, but still we are using the create statement and statement method. We are using only one basic statement method. We are not using prepare statement method. So what's going on? See, okay, so this is the very simple way to push the data into the table, but this is not the actual way. Okay, this is not the actual way. You should not use this particular thing. Okay, so this is the easiest way to push the data, but we can't use this particular, okay, syntax to, I mean to push the data. Because okay, when you are reading the values from the front end, no, so for example, okay, you have created one interface to read the, okay, employee name and employee domain and employee salary. Okay, you have created one interface to read. Okay, I mean, there you have three input boxes. In the first input box, user have to enter the employee name, user have to enter the employee domain, and then employee salary. User wants to enter these things. Okay, if user wants to, why, guys, give me a minute. Hello. Guys, please hold on for a few minutes. I mean, I am having some meeting, some important meeting with my assembly. Okay, please hold on for a few minutes. We are getting pan India projects. Okay, so leave about those things. Yes, I think we are on. Yes, we created a one program to insert the data into the, okay, SQL. We insert the data into the table, right? So here, actually, I mean, as per our earlier discussion, as per our theory, okay, we have a four, I mean, you have a three different statements, right? One is a statement, one another one is prepared statement, and another one is callable statement, right? So statement is used to retrieve the data from the SQL, and prepared statement is used to insert the data, okay, to the SQL from Java application, and I mean, coming to the callable statement, is used to execute PL/SQL programs, right? So here, actually, we have to use prepared statement to insert the data, but still we are using a statement. Okay, so this is not the official program. This is not how you can create it in the project development. Okay, so this is the simplest process, simplest way to insert the data into the, okay, a table, but this is not the actual program. Okay, we need to modify this particular program. Okay, we are creating a statement, right? In the place of statement, we have to create a prepared statement. We have to prepare a prepared statement. Okay, so first of all, let me know one thing. Are you okay with this code? Did you understand? Do you have any doubts in this code? Anybody? Hello? Any doubts or any confusion in this code? I hope there is no confusion. Let me add another value, 107, Something like, you know, and he's working in AWS, and his salary will be 25,000. Okay, so let's add him. Okay, one row is affected. That means we successfully added our data. Now I want to retrieve those details. I want to retrieve those details. Okay, see, we are getting actor here. Okay, we are getting actor from the database. You can check even the database also. Okay, let's check in the database. Yes, we have actor also. Okay, this is how you need to, okay, send the data. This is how you need to retrieve the data from the database. Okay, please check these two programs. If you are having any doubt in these programs, okay, I will explain it to you, because we need, I mean, we are going to, okay, use a different approach now. Okay, this is the basic approach to retrieve the data, to send the data, and we are going to new. See, this is the previous program and this is the today's program. Okay, we are using statements to insert the data into the SQL. Okay, I think it's clear.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so here I want to read a data from the user. Okay, I want to read the data from the user, and I want to insert that data. Okay, I want to insert that data to the SQL. Okay, we have to read the data from the user. Okay, so I mean that data, we need to insert that data into the SQL. Okay, shall we do it? Shall we do that? Like,
Yes,
here
sir.
we, I mean, I'm giving the data by default. No, I'm a developer. I'm giving the data by going, no, okay, 107 after AWS so and so. Okay, this is what we don't need. Okay, so we need to read the values from the user. After reading the values, we need to push them in a particular database or particular table. Okay, so let's create a program for that. Okay, so first let me create another Java application class. So what is the name? Demo on JDBC 3. Okay, we need a main method as well. You can finish. Yes, we have. Okay, we have one important file now. Okay, so as you know already, I don't want to write any content, any, okay, same content. This is the same content now. Mm, I'm copying the driver manager. Okay, I don't want to write everything here again. Okay, so I'm copying the code, and we don't need this insert statement now. Actually, we need to write it by one, and we need to declare one throws declaration. Okay, throws exception. Okay, so we are expecting some exception, so that's why we have to declare exception here. Okay, see, we are having the connection. Okay, we got the connection here. Okay, see, now I want to insert one, I mean, particular values. Okay, I want to insert a values. So I will declare the values like this: int employee ID. Okay, I can make it as a employee ID. Okay, and employee salary. Okay, employee ID and employee salary is the integers, no? So for example, let me check. DESC, describe deep tech employee table. Deep tech employee table. Run this. Yes, we have integers. Employee ID, employee salary is the integers, and employee name and employee domain is the varchars. Okay, so that's why I created like this, and you know, string employee name, comma, employee, sorry, domain. Okay, employee name and employee domain are the strings, and employee ID and employee salary is the integers. Okay, I want to read the data. Okay, for example, okay, so we are just writing the basic program now. So let me add the values by default. Okay, I'm adding the values for employee ID by my own. Okay, I'm passing 108. Okay, and EMP salary as you know, something like 20,000. Okay, and employee name, as something like Chandu, and sorry, and employee domain. Okay, so here we have a ME, marketing executive. Okay, so this is the values that I want to push. Okay, that I want to push it to the database. Okay, so for example, I am reading the values like this. Okay, so we have to read the values from the user. Okay, so we will do it once we created the program. Okay, so now we need to create one query, right? We need to write one query. Okay, so the query will be string query equal to. Okay, so we have to insert the values. Okay, insert into. Okay, insert into deep tech employee, deep tech emp. Okay, and what are the values? Okay, here we have to pass, okay, question marks. Okay, we have to pass the question marks. Okay, so these question marks, we have to add a values for this question marks. Okay, in the next line we have to add values to these question marks in the next line. Okay, so now we want to push the data, right? Now we want to push the data into the table, right? So we need to use prepared statement. Okay, we need to use prepared statement. So let's use the prepared statement. Let's create the prepared statement here. Okay, prepared statement. The PST is the object for the prepared statement. Okay, see, I think spelling is correct now. Hmm. So, okay, actually we need to import everything. So I can make this as, SQL.star. So I am writing everything. Okay, prepared statement PST equal to, okay, connection dot prepare statement, connection dot prepare statement. We have to prepare statement with the help of query, right? So that's why I'm creating the query here. Okay, this is the statement that we want to create. Okay, now we have to add the values, right? Now we have to add the values. Okay, so you have to add the values by using this prepared statement object. Okay, we have a one object for the prepared statement now. pst dot pst dot set int, set integer. Okay, so we have to actually, okay, so we have to set the integer. And why we are getting, hmm, okay, see, we have a set integer method. Okay, in the set integer method you have to add two different integers. In the set integer method you have to add two different parameters. The first parameter would be, okay, we have a four question marks now. We have a four question marks. Okay, so I mean you have to define the question mark number and the value that you are passing to the question mark. So here in the first question mark, that means here in the first value, I have to pass employee ID, right? So in the place of first question mark, I am passing employee ID. Okay, see, so here I can write 1 comma, okay, 1 comma employee ID. Okay, in the first question mark, I want to, okay, pass employee ID. Okay, so coming to the second question mark, in the second question mark we have, okay, what we have in the second position, we have employee name in the second position so that's why pst do dot, okay, it is a string, not an integer, right? So you can use the set string method. Okay, set string method. So here we can say, okay, um, 2 in the second thing, in the second value. Okay, I want to pass employee name. Okay, in the second question mark I want to pass employee name. So in the third question mark, okay, I want to pass, okay, I want to pass in the third question mark, here we have to pass the employee domain. Okay, employee domain. Now coming to the fourth question mark, we have to pass an integer because it is a salary. Okay, we have to use a set integer. Okay, 4, and in the 4 we have to pass the employee salary. Okay, see, so actually we created empty places. We created a empty places in the query, and we are passing the values to the empty statement. I mean empty spaces by using our prepared statement object. This is the official way to push the data into the database. Okay, so here we need to execute the prepared statement, right? So we need to execute the prepared statement. So you can use, which method we have to use, ma, to execute the query. We are updating the values of a table. So which method we have to use? Execute query or execute update? We have two types of executions. Okay, so the first one is execute query, and the second one is execute update. So here I am updating the values of a table, by Java application. So which method I have to choose? Execute query or execute update?
Execute update.
Yes, for sure. So actually in the second program, we used execute update only to update the values, right? So here also we are updating the values only. So you have to use, execute update method. So pst dot execute update, execute update. So this execute update will return, the number of columns is affected by this particular execution. Okay, so that's why I am creating one integer to store the result. So it is a count. Into count pst dot execute update. Okay, so in the system dot out dot println we can print the values. Okay, count plus rows affected. Okay, now let's shape with the code. Then as a Java application and click OK, and you can see, one row is affected. One row is affected. So let's check it in the database. Okay, so here in the database we have, see, actually we got the values 102 Chandu, marketing executive, and his salary is 20,000. Okay, we done. Okay, we officially added the values to the database by using our prepared statement method. Okay, so this is how you need to create the program. Okay, so here, we are giving the values by our own, right? We are giving the values by our own. So in the place of directly passing the values, you can take, you can read the values from the user. Okay, you can read the values from the user. Okay, I'm directly reading the values by my own, right? So you have to, sorry, you have to read the values from the user. Okay, can you do it? Can you do it? Anyone? So can you read the values? How to read the values? We need a scanner object, obviously, right? So let's read import java dot utility dot scanner. Okay, we need a scanner class, and let's create a object for scanner. Scanner bs equal to new scanner system dot in. Okay, new scanner system dot in. Okay, so here, I want to read the values. Okay, I don't want to mention them. Okay, here, now you can read the values. See, so let's print something here in the screen. Out.println. Okay, welcome to our welcome to employee management system or something. Okay, employee management. Okay. Mm, yes. After printing employee management, welcome message. Okay, we want to read the values, right? So here println Okay, in the printer line. So you can read employee ID. Employee ID. So we need to read employee ID from the user. Employee ID equal to, okay, bs dot next int method, because we want to read the integer values, right? So after reading employee, okay, thing, we need to read we need to read employee name. Okay, employee name. Okay, here we can refer employee name equal to bs dot. So next bs dot next method, and after reading employee name, we need to read employee uh, domain, right? Employee domain. Employee domain. Okay. So here emp in the emp domain, emp domain. Okay. So let's read bs dot next int. Sorry, bs dot next. It is a string, right? And after reading employee domain also, we need to read employee salary, right? Employee salary. Okay. So here also we have to use employee sorry, bs dot next int, because it is an integer, right? Bs dot next integer. Okay. After reading everything, okay, after reading everything, I think s is small here. Okay, after reading everything, now we are creating a one new, I mean, query. In the new query we are assigning the values. Okay, now let's compile this code. We'll see how it is doing. See, okay, welcome to employee management. Now, okay, we have to enter the employee ID. So here I mean, I am adding 110. Okay, let's check. I think yes, 109 we have. Okay, 109. Okay, now you have to enter employee name. The employee name will be something like Sandeep. Okay, and the employee domain is something about DevOps. Okay, and employee salary is about 40,000. 40,000. After, okay, after editing the value, after entering the value, one row is affected. That means, okay, we have successfully added our row. Okay, now let's check in the database. Let's check in the database. Okay. Yes, we have. Okay, we have 109 as a Sandeep, and his domain is DevOps, and his salary is 40,000. Okay, see, we read the I mean, we read the values from the user, and we inserted them in a one particular table. Okay, so isn't it easy? It's very easy, na? So this is how you need to write the program. Okay, so please go through the program. Okay, if you are having any doubt, please ask me now. Any doubt or any confusion? See, actually we need to close connection, and we need to close the scanner object also, right? So it's better to close scanner object as well as the connection also. Connection dot close as well. Okay, connection dot close, and I mean scanner dot close. See, in the first line of the code, I am registering the driver, and in the second line, I am creating the URL for my database, and we have, okay, object for the scanner object to read the values from the user, and we are creating username and password to communicate with the database. Okay, and we are reading the values. Okay, we are reading the values from the user. Okay, so after reading the values, we are inserting them in a query. Okay, and when we are getting the connection, we are creating the prepared statement. After creating the prepared statement, we are assigning the values. Okay, yes, I think that's it. Okay, please go through the code. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me now. Yes, Priyanshu.
Sir, if I want to work with the different tables, so in the programs, I only change the table name.
Yes, that's it. You have to change the fields also, na?
Both, okay, sir, fields and the table name. Or, sir, if I want to work with a different database, so what I have to
Then
do.
you can change the database name here. You can change the database name at the URL. This one. Change this.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay. So we have a database name in the URL, no? So you can change the URL.
So what if we want to add more than one row?
So you can mention it in the while. Actually, in the while loop, when we are writing the calculation like program, na, when we are doing banking operations, we mentioned it in the while, na.
Yes,
So
sir.
one for continue or I mean press less than I mean if you press greater than 4, okay, then we can exit from the system. Okay, you can add that type of mechanism. You can add switch statement. Switch with right. I don't want to employee ID entered by the user. I want to assign employee ID by the default so that my program will assign. Should I use the loop? Obviously, yes. You have to use the loop to assign the values. Actually, we can't get the value from the database here, na? So if you want to make it more clear, you can read the employee ID from the database and you can increment the value to 1. Okay, Nishan, you can read the employee ID from the database. That means you have to use something else. Okay, or either you can use a for loop also. Anything you can do. So better way is you can read the data. Okay, you can read the employee ID, okay, from the user. Okay, from the user, I mean from the table. Okay, from SQL now. So you can increase it to, you can use the increment operator to increase the employee ID to 1. Okay, so that you can happily assign. Otherwise you can use a for loop for the basic thing. It's okay, it's okay to assign like that. Very good. What about others? Please check the code. If you are having any doubt, please ask me. No doubts? Is this clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we can also enter the rows na, in empty table also.
You can enter. Okay, you are creating a empty table in the SQL. Now you want to insert the data from Java.
From here. Okay.
You can happily. So here we are not mentioning. Okay, so we are adding. We are not adding the data to the existing content. Huh? We are adding the content. That's it. You can add it to the empty table or you can add the content to the existing table. No matter. That's not a matter.
Sir, if I want to add something in the employee address table, so with the help of fields, we can do
With the help of same field.
fields because the employee address have like employee city name and the phone number like that.
Mm-hmm. So you have to write a separate thing. No? So,
Okay, sir.
hmm. Okay, if you want to do something else, okay, so you can read the data after inserting the employee, okay, details. Okay, after inserting this here, you can add something like this. Whatever that will tell you. Okay. Enter address of the employee. Okay. Now you can create a new query here. Okay. In new query. Okay, in the new query you can write it. Okay. Insert into deep tech employee address, okay, where you can pass the different column values. Okay, employee address ID, employee name, and employee street, employee city, and employee phone number, and employee ID. Okay, so these are the fields of, okay, deep tech employee address. You can read these 5 values from the user after creating this. Okay, so you can use the same thing. You can create a new prepared statement, and you can use the, okay, execute update again. Okay, after completion of this you can add the code as well, the same code in the new query.
Okay,
Priyanshu,
sir.
that's what you are asking, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
sir.
You can create a new query. You can create a new query. You can use the same connection also. Okay, because we are writing the content in the same method only, na. So you can use the same connection. You can use the same scanner object. Okay, just you need to create a separate variables, and you can read the data from, I mean, from the user to the separate variables, and you can insert the variables with this following syntax.
Okay, sir.
Same thing you can do. Let's try. Let's try. Okay, you can try. Okay, guys. So now we have to learn about data access object. Okay, so which is a new thing to us. Okay, so we have to learn what is meant by data access object and what it contains, why we need data access object. Then we can start the thing. Okay. Okay. So we can start, but after the break. Let's have a break for 15 minutes. After coming from the break, okay, we can have a discussion on data access object. Is that
Okay,
okay?
sir.
Hmm.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it is 12, I mean, sorry, 11:50. This object. Okay, the data access object. So this I mean, it is a generally DAO is a classes. Okay, so data access object means it is, I mean, it is a collection of classes and the methods. Okay, so mainly the main use of these data access objects is to use the to reuse the JDBC applications. Okay, so actually we I mean, we written so much of code na. So that much of code is only used for only one operation at a time. Okay, so if you want to do another operation, if you want to use in another application, we have to do something else. Okay, so if you want to create, so one larger scale application. Okay, in the larger scale application, so we have to create a something like, sign up bar. Okay, we need to create a sign up page. Okay, so in the sign up phase we have a different things like, sign up as a teacher, sign up as a student, or sign up as a principal. Okay, assume you are having a different sign up pages like that. Okay, either you can, okay, sign up as a teacher, or you can sign up as a student, or you can sign up as a moderator or a principal like that. Okay, so in that type of situations, okay, we have to write the code for 3 different times. Okay, we have to write the, okay, backend code for, you know sign up as a for sign up as a student. We have to write the backend code for sign up as a teacher. We have to write the backend code for sign up as a moderator. We have to write a backend code for sign up as a principal. Okay, we have to write 4 times. Okay, we have to create a simple program. We have to create, a simple program, but we are writing 4 different codes for a similar thing. Okay, we are using only sign up thing na, but only one sign up you are writing 4 different logics. Okay, so which will waste our time, which will increase our memory of our application. Okay, so which will waste our time, I mean, many things. Okay, so I mean, by way we can write many lines of the code for the waste of time. Okay, so if you want to reuse a code, okay, so if you write a code like this, if you write a code like this, we can't reuse this code. Okay, because we are not having any special method, we are not mentioning it in the any special method. Okay, see, we are actually, we wrote three different programs, na? We wrote three different programs: demo 1, demo 2, and demo 3. Okay, so in the all the demos, do we change our database? No. Do we change our username? No. Do we change our password? No. Do we change our connection methodology? No. Okay, the first four lines, okay, the first, basically the first four lines of the program, okay, the first four lines of the every program is equal. Okay, because, okay, so we had to get a connection. Okay, so in these three programs we are writing the same code. See, we are writing the driver manager dot get connection here, and we wrote driver manager dot get connection here also, and we wrote driver manager dot get connection, and here also we are writing driver manager dot get connection. Okay, so we are wasting the number of lines of code. Okay, so what you can do is you can create a separate class for the connection, you can create a one method for the connection. If we call that particular method, okay, automatically the connection got established. Okay, when we are creating this particular connection a special method. Okay, so if you want to reuse the JDBC code that you have written, then we have to use the data access object. Okay, if you want to reuse the JDBC code, or if you want to reuse the Java code that you have written, you have to use the, okay, data access object. Okay, is this clear? So why we need a data access object means we need to reuse the code. Okay, so we are writing, okay, a simple programs, we wrote simple three programs here. Okay, in the simple three programs, the four lines of the program is must be equal. See, okay, not four lines, I think so, five lines. Okay, see, these lines along with the connection, this is the similar, na? This is the similar. Okay, six lines are the similar. Okay, see, in the JDBC here also we are writing those six lines. In the demo JDBC, okay, three. Here also we wrote the six lines. Okay, so we are wasting the line number of lines of code. We are wasting the memory. We are wasting our time by writing the multiple times, by writing the same code for the multiple times. Okay, so I want to reuse the code. I want to reuse the get connection method. Okay, so if you want to reuse the Java code, okay, I mean, if you want to reuse the especially the JDBC code, you can use the data access object. Okay, it is a generally it is an important component for the business application when you are creating a business applications, I mean business things. Okay, so it is data access object a very important thing when you are creating the projects, no? So you cannot create something like this. Okay, you have to create the data access object in the projects, because we are doing so many operations. Okay, so if you are doing, okay, at least 10 operations, okay, I mean, so we have to repeat these six lines of code for every program. Okay, that means you are writing extra 60 lines of code for the similar thing, right? So we are wasting the memory there, we are wasting our time there, right? So that's why we can create the data access object. Okay, so data access, that means, uh, it is used to, I can write here, use it to reuse the reuse the JDBC code. Okay, so simply data access object reuses the JDBC code. Okay, so we can say this DAO is a design pattern. It is a design pattern. Okay, it is a design pattern. Okay, so what can I write here again? Uh, Something like, we can hide the implementation details implementation details by using this design pattern. Okay, we can implement the, okay, sorry, we can hide the implementation details. Okay, so by using this design pattern. Okay, so let's know what is meant by the DAO object and how we can create the DAO object and all. Okay, so to create the DAO object, okay, so we need two important classes, Uma. Okay, we need two classes. Okay, so in one class, okay, you can create the connection. Okay, you can insert the values to the database, and you can retrieve the values from the database, from the database. Okay, so in another class, second class, okay, in second class, okay, you can consume the connection, consume the connection. When you are consuming the connection, you now by using here, you can insert the value, so you can pass data to insert the values, and you can use it to retrieve the data. Okay. So these are the two different classes that we are going to create now. Okay, so first we need to create a, okay, connection object, and we need to communicate with the, database and all. And one is for the business logic. Okay, here we are writing the business logic, and in the second class we are consuming the business logic. We are using the features of the business logic. Okay, we are separating the service layer from the application layer. Okay, when we are creating the banking project, did you remember when you are creating the banking project? Okay, you are, I mean, you are differentiating the two things, na? So we are differentiating the application layer, service layer, okay, logical layer. Okay, like that. So we created a MVC architecture application, model view controller. Okay, so here also we are differentiating the business logic with the view. Okay, so let's create a business logic and everything. Okay, so this is the controller. Generally we can say this is the controller, and this is the view. Okay, we don't have any model because we are already had a model in the database. Okay, so in this particular program, model can be worked as the SQL is the model, and controller is our first application. Control is our first application, and the view, you can I mean, you can enjoy the view from your second application. Okay, so we are designing the one particular MVC architecture program now. Okay, when you are creating the projects, you have to use this particular syntax only. Don't use the basic syntax like this. These are the very basic level syntax, so we cannot use this. Okay, so let's create a new file. you know let's create a new file here. Okay, so I can call this as something like employee. Okay, DAO object, employee DAO object. And I don't need any main method because it is a service layer, na? Controller doesn't need any main method, right? Okay, so assume we are having one particular application, and I'm creating another thing, another class. We need a two classes, right? uh, I can call this thing as a add insert, sorry, uh, consume employee. Okay, consume employee here. Okay, in the consume employee class we need a main method because this is our view. Okay, in the view we need a main method. Okay, consume employee we have, and employee DAO object we have. Okay, we have a two different things. Okay, so in the employee DAO object we have to perform these operations. We have to get a connection. After getting the connection, we have to insert the values, and after inserting the values we have to retrieve the values from the database. Okay, so every logic that related to the database you have to written in the this particular DAO object. Okay, so you can consume those methods, you can consume those methods from the consume employee method, sorry, consume employee class. Okay, yes. So here you know, we can create a employee, we can do all these things. Okay, uh, what to do now, where to start? Okay, guys, give me 1 minute, I think, just give me 1 minute, I forgot something. This is the model and we don't need any main method in it. Okay, so this is the model. Okay, model class, and this is the view, and this is the controller. So if you want to write any comments here, na, so you can write controller, and you know, this is the view, and this is the model. Okay, let's save everything. So we have a three different files. Okay, so let's close the previous programs. Okay, so we have employee data access object and consume, and we have employee. Okay, this is the model. Okay, in the model, okay, so our employee can have different fields na, so our employee can have a different fields like this. Okay, our employee can have employee id, employee name, employee domain, and employee salary. Okay, so we have to create this model. Okay, here. Okay, let's create them. Employee id, employee name, okay, employee domain, and you know, employee salary. Okay, we have, and let's make this I as a capital. Okay, so this is the our employee model. Our employee can have four different fields, which is an employee id, employee name, employee domain, and employee salary. Okay, now we need to create a controller class. We need to create a controller. Okay, so first in the controller class I want to create three different methods, Amma. Okay, I want to create three different methods. Okay, so the first one is public void connect. Okay, public void connect. This is the first method that I want to create. And in the second method I want to create, add employee. Okay, public void add employee. Okay, and here I want to get an employee. Okay, if I want to get an employee details, okay, I have to get it from here, public. Okay, we have to return one employee, and this will be get name. Okay, so actually get employee. Okay, public get employee. Why it is showing error to us? Return 0 as of now. Just create a return as a 0. Okay, or return as a empty. Okay, so it will have a error because we need to return one particular employee. Okay, we will return it later. Okay, so first we need to create a connect. Okay, that means, okay, here in this connect method I will create a connection for the database. Okay, so connection for the database. Okay, this particular connection, okay, this particular connection can be used in, okay, both add employee and get employee methods. Okay, we can use the connection. Okay, we can use the connection from both add employee method and get employee method, because both are working with the databases, no, so both need a connection. So that's why I'm creating a connection in the connect method, and I can consume the connection from the connect method in both add employee and get employee. Okay, so here, okay, so we have to create a connection. So I mean, we want to add connection everywhere in the program, right? So that's why I'm making connection as a one instance variable. Okay, connection on equal to instance variable. Okay, and we need to import the package, SQL package here. Import java.sql.star. Now we won't get any error. Okay, so we have a one global object. Connection is a global object. That means, okay, you can use the connection, this particular connection, anywhere in the class. Okay, so let's create a connection here. Okay, so how to create the connection, ma? So we need to create a connection by using class.forName. Okay, class.forName. In the class.forName you can mention tom.mysql dot, cj dot jdbc dot driver. Okay, you can use the same thing, and this class where you are getting the error router class. Okay, so actually we need to throw one declaration, no, throws exception. Okay, and I think this class will be static. Okay, so we registered the driver. Now we want to get the connection. Okay, so actually we have a connection object here, na? We have a connection object here, so you can consume the connection object con equal to, okay, see how we are how we are creating the connection here. See, connection con equal to driver manager dot get connection, na? See, I'm using the same thing. Okay, I declared the connection in the instance variable. I am using in the local thing. Okay, so connection con equal to driver manager, same thing, driver manager dot get connection. Okay, so in this get connection method we have to pass, okay, the variables. We have to pass the URL and username and password and all. So here I want to pass directly. So JDBC colon mysql colon double slash localhost 3306. I have to online comes log. So the local host 3306. Okay, slash Anudip Deep Tech is the Anudip Deep Tech is the domain name. Okay, database. And SQL driver manager. Why we are getting some error? Driver manager get connection. Okay, I think we have to pass something else here, na? We have to pass the username. So root is the username, and the password is 905906. Okay, I am doing the same thing in the every plan. And we need to. I think the spelling is wrong. Okay, maybe a spelling is mistake. Okay, driver manager. Okay, so we created the connection successfully. Okay, after creating the connection, what we have to do? Okay, we have to work with these two methods. Okay, we successfully created the connection now. Okay, now you can add the employee or you can get the employee. Add the employee is method which is used to insert the employee values. Okay, so actually in the third program, okay, in the third program we are adding the employee values right here, right? We are adding the employee values now. So you can add employee values, same thing in the, okay, employee dow. Okay, so if you want to add employee values, first you need an employee, right? So we are importing this employee model. Okay, we have an employee model here. Okay, we are importing this employee model, okay, here, employee e1. Okay, employee we have. Okay, this add employee method is expecting employee. Okay, now so you can read, I mean you can declare the query and you can use it to create the prepared statement and everything. Hey, guys, I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
you are getting my points now.
Sir.
I just created the connection and I want to add employee details by using add employee method.
So, but
Okay,
we are doing the same thing, na?
uh,
That we did in those two programs.
yes,
Just we
yes,
are dividing it.
yes, we are dividing it, but we can reuse this, we can reuse this particular methods later. Okay,
Okay,
just give me 2 minutes, you will get a clarity.
okay,
Okay,
sir.
we are doing the same thing. Okay, we are not writing anything, but we are just separating the logic layer. Okay, we are separating the controller and the view and the model. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, because
Okay,
to use reusability, to achieve reusability in the program. Okay,
okay,
so
sir.
let's create a string query. Okay, equal to where we want to insert the values. Okay, insert into what is the table name? I forgot. Table name. Deep
Deep
tech
tech,
employee.
deep tech and plus.
Deep tech employee. We want to insert the values into deep tech employee, and where we have to pass the values in the question mark. We did the same thing in our third program. Na? Yes, give me 1 minute. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, yes, I am. Okay, okay. So call me after 7 o'clock in the evening. Call me after 7 o'clock in the evening. Okay. Hmm. Sorry. Mm, actually, I we created a one query, na. So after creating the query, what we have to do? We have to prepare a one statement. Okay, because we are adding the values, na. So prepared statement. I'm using prepared statement. Tst equal to, okay, we have to prepare the statement by using the connection, right? So we have a connection in a global object, connection as a global object. Now you can mention it as a connection dot. Array, I'm getting the connection dot, okay, prepare statement where we have to pass our query. Okay, where we have to pass our query. Okay, and this particular thing may be an exception, So we can raise an exception here. Suppose exception. Okay. Hmm. So we have a prepared statement now. Now what we have to do, we have to set the values first. After setting the values, okay, you can insert the thing. Okay, so first one. So by using this pst dot, we have to set the values like set integer, set string. Okay, that we did in the third program. Okay, we here we are setting the values now. So same thing we have to do here. Okay, set integer. Okay, and in the first place, okay, in the first place, okay, we have to insert employee id, and we have a employee as a e1 now. Okay, we have a employee as a e1, right? This e1 have, okay, value e1 dot employee id. Okay, you have to write like this. Okay, ps2 dot set string, set string. Okay, in the second value, okay, we have to pass the employee name. Okay, e1 dot employee name. Okay, because e1 is our employee, right? Okay, and ps2 dot set string. Okay, in the third place we have to pass the employee domain, e1 dot employee domain. And in the fourth place we want to add an integer for employee salary. Yes, e1 dot salary. Okay, so we are adding the values to the prepared statement. Okay, now what we have to do after adding the prepared statement, what we have to do, ma? What is the next step? Hello, what is the next step after preparing a statement? What is the next step?
Use the prepared statement for, I mean,
We have to execute it.
execute. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, so we have a prepared statement, we have a execute it. Okay, by using this prepared statement we are updating the values of a table, right? So we have to use the execute update method. pstu dot execute update, execute update. Okay, this will return number of rows, that is affected. So that's why I can see int count here. Okay, int count equal to pstd dot execute, and after execution we can print the number of lines. Okay, println. Okay, see, count number of rows affected. Okay, count number of rows affected. Okay, this is what we did in the add employee. Okay, so coming to the get employee. Okay, so we want to retrieve the employee by using the employee id. If I entered 101, I have to print the employee whose id is 101. Okay, I want to retrieve the values based on the, okay, employee id. So this particular get employee method will expect employee id for sure, right? Int employee id. Okay, this is expecting employee one id. Okay, and maybe this will also raise one exception. So before writing the code, I am declaring exception. Those exception. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. See, now we can. Okay, we have to retrieve the employee, right? So you can retrieve the employee. Just create the employee object. Okay, employee e. Okay, employee e equal to new employee. Okay, right now we have an employee. Okay, so we are getting some error because we are not passing any employee, so we can return E. Okay, now we are not getting any error. Okay, see, so after having the employee details, okay, so by using the employee id we want to print the employee na. So you here you can mention e dot employee id, e dot employee id equal to employee id which we got it from the method declaration. Okay, employee id which we got it from the method declaration. Okay, and why I'm getting error? Okay, I think employee id I is capital here. Okay, I use captain. Okay, so employee EID equal to EID. Okay, now we need to write a query to retrieve the details. Okay, to retrieve the details. So string query equal to, okay, select star from, employee. Okay, select star from, sorry, deep tech employee. Select star from deep tech employee, where where okay, employee ID equal to EID. EID. Okay, so this CID is given from the user. Okay, this CID is equal to this CID. Okay, we want to fetch the details of the employee where the employee ID equal to the given number. Okay, so after, I mean, creating the query, okay, now we are fetching the values, right? We are retrieving the details of an employee, right? So in this case, which type of statement you are going to create, ma? I am retrieving the details. Which type of statement I have to create in the JDBC, guys?
Insert.
No, no, no. See, I want to, I want to retrieve the details from the SQL. Okay, so to, to perform any task in the SQL, we have to create one particular statements, na? So we have to create one statement to retrieve the details. Okay, which type of statement I am going to use to retrieve the details? We have three different types of
Create.
statements.
Create a statement.
Yeah, that's a basic statement. We don't need any prepared statement and a callable statement, because prepared statement is used to insert the values, callable is used to insert, work with the PLSQL. Okay, so just we need a statement. Okay, so that's why I'm creating one statement here. Statement st equal to, okay, create statement. How can you create a statement? By using the connection object only. So connection object con dot create. We created a statement here. Okay, so if you want to execute this particular statement, okay, you have to use execute query. Okay, you cannot use execute update, because we are fetching the details, na? So you can use execute query. So execute query. Execute query is the statement, and this execute query will returns one result set, right? So result set rs equal to st dot execute query. And why I'm getting error here? Okay, so we need to pass our query to the execute query. So query is the, okay, so after returning, after getting the values, okay, after getting the values and everything, okay, so we need to use rs dot next. Okay, because we have to move our cursor to the next element. So I think you remember this thing. Okay, when we are getting error, so we forgot this thing in the, yesterday's program we got error now. So we have to use the rs.next it for sure. Okay, now, okay, by using the result set, you can get the values. We are already having, okay, employee id here, and we need employee details. Okay, employee dot e dot employee name equal to result set dot get string of, okay, column. We have to pass the column index. So second column, we need to read the second column. Second column is all about, okay, e name, right? And employee dot e domain equal to, okay, third column is all about e domain, get string e domain. And the fourth column is all about e dot e salary is equal to rs dot, this is an integer, so we have to use get integer method. And fourth column is all about integers. Okay, fourth column is all about integers. Okay, so after creating, after reading the every value, we have to return the employee, and this is the employee that we are returning. Okay, see, so we are creating two different methods. One is add employee and get employee. We are segregating the logic, that's it. Okay, we are not doing any extra thing. Okay, so everything that you already know. Okay, we separated the logic, that's it. Okay, and we have an employee model. We have a model, and we have a we have created the content based on the model. This is the controller. Okay, now we need to consume these methods. We need to consume these methods. Okay, so first of all, I want to add some values. Okay, I want to add some values to the, okay, employee. So first what we need to, okay, add employee, something like, let me create some variables here. Okay, saying actually we have these variables here in our program now. We are already having the variables. Here is our variables. This is the variables we have. We have an employee ID, employee salary, employee name, and employee domain. Okay, so here I am directly assigning the values. Okay, triple one, employee salary is 40,000, and the employee domain is, .NET, and the employee name is something like, uh, tell me some name now. Mm, they suggest me some name.
My name Gunjan.
Okay, Punjab. Okay. So now we have to add these employee details to the table. Okay, so first we need to create the object. Okay, how can you add these particular variables? Okay, by consuming the add employee method, by consuming the add employee method, right? So here you have to create something. Okay, you have to create something. See, first we need to create an object for employee. Employee e1 is equal to new employee, is equal to new employee. Now we need to set the values. Now we need to set the values here. Okay, so e1 dot employee id equal to, okay, so employee id that we created. Okay, sorry, actually we created employee emp id that we created, and e1 dot e name equal to, okay, e1 dot e name equal to, okay, employee name that we created, and e1 dot domain equal to, okay, so emp domain. Okay, e1 dot salary equal to emp salary. Salary s is smaller. Okay, so we have created one employee here. We have created one employee. So now we have to pass this employee object to this add employee method. See, add employee method is expecting one object, right? Add employee method is expecting one object. So we have to pass add employee, I mean this employee to the add employee method. So first, okay, we need to create the object for this class. We need to create the object for employee DAO. Okay, then you can fetch the details. Okay, so let's create a object for employee DAO. emp DAO equal to, okay, something like, uh, DAO, new emp DAO. Okay, we created a one object. After creating the object, okay, what we have to do is we have to establish a connection. Okay, first we need to establish the connection, right? So here we can establish the connection by calling the connection method, dao dot connect method. If we call a connect method, we can, I mean, we can establish the connection, and this is expecting some exception, so that's why I'm creating exception. Okay, after creating the connection, after establishing the connection, we have to pass these employee details. We have to pass these employee details to the add employee method, right? So here I can pass it here. Okay, employee, sorry, EAO dot add employee. Okay, that is a E1. E1 is our employee, na? So we created object employee one, and we are adding employee one to the add employee method. Okay, so after adding add employee, okay, so we want to retrieve some details. Okay, so we will retrieve some details later in the session. Okay, now I want to add details, that's it. Okay, now you can run this particular method, see what will happen. Run as a Java application and click OK, and here we will get one row affected. Okay, we successfully assessed, we successfully insert the data by using data access object. You can see the data here. See, I think we got it. Yes, we have inserted Gunjan. Okay, Gunjan having 111. Okay, and we are, Gunjan working with .NET and 40,000. Okay, so this is the, okay, data access object. By using this data access object, by using the same connect method, we can retrieve the details also. Okay, we can retrieve the details also. Okay, so now I want to get the employee details. Okay, I want to get the employee details. Okay, so employee E2 equal to, okay, employee E2 equal to, okay, so we have get employee method, na? Get employee method, I want to get, okay, so the person who is having 111 as a ID. Okay, I want to print the person who is having 111 ID. Okay, so we all know who is it. Okay, now let's print the values of the employee that we are getting. System.out.println. Okay, so E2 is E2 dot EID is E2 dot ename. That means we want to print the name E2 dot ename. Okay, see, now working in, so E2 dot domain, E2 dot domain, and package with E2 dot eSalary, yeah, salary, and actually we have to use a semicolon at the last. Yes. See, now I want to comment out everything here. I want to comment out everything. Actually, we have to comment something. Okay, I'm not going to add, okay, employee now. I'm not going to add employee. Okay, I want to add only, I want to print the details. That's it. Okay, see. Now we are getting the values. 111 is Gunjan working in .NET with 40,000 salary. Okay, so you can write a switch statement. If user press 1, you can add employee. User press 2, you can get the employee details. Okay, so we can we can do like that, na? See how, let's see how we are doing. Okay, so let's remove everything in the comment section. Okay, something like system.out.println, system.out.println. Okay, welcome to employee management. Okay, welcome to employee management. So here, okay, so I want to read the, okay, option. I want to read the option from the user. If user press 1, I want to add employee. If user press 2, I want to get the employee details. Okay, so I want to do such things. Okay, so int, op operation equal to es dot next int. First we need to create an scanner class. scanner is equal to new scanner. We need to import the scanner from utility package. So we can write the switch statement now. Switch OP. Okay. If user press 1, case 1, okay, that means, okay, otherwise I can use the this particular thing. If user press 1, okay, I want to add all these things. Okay, I want to add all these things. Sorry. The block of code we have to do, and we have to add employee. We have to write these things before the switch statement. Okay, so if user press 1, we have to add the details. Okay, if user press 2, that means case 2, okay, we can retrieve the employee details. Okay, so we can write this thing in the case 2. Okay, so actually, okay, if you want to read the all the values from the user, okay, I just mentioned the details like this now. So now let's add 110. Okay, mm, 110, okay, is with 42,000 salary, and let's give someone name. Hey, someone, I can see someone. Okay, let's add a Priyanshu. Okay, Priyanshu. Priyanshu working with Java. Priyanshu working with me. Okay, Java. See, okay, if you want to add Priyanshu, okay, you have to press 1. If you want to add, I mean, if you want to print the details, you have to add, I mean, you have to print 2. Okay, so now let's run this code. Okay, welcome to employee management. You can press 2 to retrieve the details. Okay, we are getting the results. Okay, you can press 1. See, if I press 1, one row is affected. That means Priyanshu got, I mean, fetch, I mean, Priyanshu got inserted into the data. See, Priyanshu 110 is inserted into the data. Okay, this is how you have to do. Okay, now see, we are consuming the same connection object. So here we completely, okay, by seeing this code, do you know what is the table name? Do you know what is the connection name and everything? Do you know the credentials? No, we are not seeing anything. Okay, you can provide this particular thing to the user. Okay, so user can access everything. Okay, user can access everything. User can add the data, but user can retrieve the data, but user don't know the logic. Okay, users don't know the logic. We implemented the details. I mean, sorry, we hide the implementation details. Okay, by using the DAO object. Okay, this is how you have to create the DAO object. Okay, is this clear, boys? I
Yes,
think this is
sir.
somewhat difficult, to understand. Okay, so I mean, so writing the same code in a separate programs is easy, but we are combining the programs. We are combining the every programs here, but it is a bit difficult to understand. Bit difficult to understand the flow and everything. But I think you can. See, first I created the model. Okay, model of the employee. Okay, after creating the model, here I wrote the entire logic for the controllers. Okay, this is our entire back end logic, and this is our entire front end logic. So you can I mean, here I mean, here I declared the values now, so you can read the values also. Okay, if you want to read the values, so you can read the values if you need from the user. Okay, I think I can also I do it by copying the code from here. See, I can do this. I will insert this thing in the case one. Okay, and let's print something else here. System dot out dot println. Okay, press one for add employee and press two for retrieve employee. Retrieve employee. Okay, now you can see the perfect code. See, okay, now you can add. Okay, press one for add employee, press two for retrieve employee. Okay, I'm assigning one. Okay, so if I press one, okay, you have to enter the employee ID. Employee ID will be 112, and employee name will be someone named Shika. Okay, and employee domain Shika working with AWS and with 45,000 salary. Okay, see, one row is affected. We can see the, now you can see 112 is Sika. Okay, so here in the second method you can read the, okay, employee ID. Actually I passed the employee ID by default. No, you can read the employee ID. See, system dot out dot println. Okay, enter EID for details. Okay, int EID equal to yes dot next int. Okay, and you can pass the employee ID here. Okay, now you will see that, see, if I want to add, if I press 2, okay, so I will get the, okay, employee details. Enter employee EID for the details. Okay, I'm entering something 105. Okay, so 105 is Ashok working in manager and with 30,000 salary. Okay, if I press 1, okay, 1, so I can add the employee details. New employee, I can add new employee 113. Okay, employee name will be someone named Divya. Okay, and employee domain is something HR. Okay, employee salary is 46,000. Okay, now one row is affected. That means Divya is added into the database. Okay, see, Divya is added. Okay, this is how you can create the project. See, we are doing the same thing with, I mean, we did the same thing in our banking project. Na, we created the, we created a model. We added the, I mean, username and user details, and we are performing something there. Okay, so here also we can perform so many things. Okay, so we created a basic project to add and retrieve the details of the employee. Okay, is this okay, boys and girls?
Yes, sir.
What about
Yes,
others?
sir.
Let's hear it from others.
Yes, sir.
Rahul, Priya, okay, Divya,
Yes, sir.
Renu, Nishant, Ketan. What about you? Ankit, where are the remaining? You guys are so silent. What happened? Astosh, oh,
Yes, sir.
I'm so happy I got reply from Ankit. Ankit is so silent in nowadays. Yogesh, Suresh, Sunil, are you okay? Are you clear with this? Okay. For your reference, okay, for your reference, I will add this code into the GitHub. Okay, if you want to check, if you want to, okay, if you want any reference, you can check the code. Okay, so I will add this code into the GitHub. Let's create a new GitHub repository. EMP management for slot 1. That's my repository. Copy this thing. Um, JDBC slot 1. Yes, slot 1 JDBC. And I can go to this. So hit init here. Hit add dot. Hit commit. Employee. No. Project with JDBC. Now git add remote origin. Git remote add origin. Git remote add origin. Okay. Now we can push the content. Git push -f origin master. Okay, done. Now you can check the GitHub. Yes, we have. Okay, see everything we have. So you can check employee DAO object here. Okay. Let's open WhatsApp. And guys, today actually I forgot to create the test. Okay, so I don't have any questions for the test today. Okay, so tomorrow we will have a test. As of now, today we are not having any test. Okay, so getting upload and table creating. Okay, Abhishek. Okay, see, if you miss one class, no, if you miss this class, okay, your content will be gone for sure. Okay, if you miss any one class, okay, your will be out of flow. Okay, so we have to take care of that. So you have to attend the classes very regularly. Mm, okay, I'm getting some messages. Okay, so I think it's enough for the day. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me now. Actually, Nishant, you have asked one doubt now, like so you don't want to do check. Please mark the meeting. Yeah, so you want to add, the employee ID by default. You don't want to read the employee ID, right? So we can do this in another thing also. Actually, in SQL, um, we have auto increment option, I think so. Okay, so at the time of creation of the table, we can create a auto increment. Okay, so let's go to the SQL. I want to create one basic employee. Okay, create a table employee example. Okay, employee X. Okay, so here we can write employee ID as an integer, and which is an auto increment. Okay, we have a one option called auto increment, and it is a primary key also. And when you are writing auto increment, okay, that auto increment variable must be a key. Okay, it must be a key. Okay, so and I want to add ename also, which is a varchar of 20. Okay, this is my table. Okay, let's create this table. Okay, yes, we have. Now you can insert the table values like this. Insert into Okay, employee X. Okay, employee example. Okay, here we want to add only the name, right? So e name. Okay, values here you can directly add Bhaskar. Okay. We successfully added Bhaskar. Now let's add Nishant. Okay. So I added Nishant. Let's add Ankit. Okay. Okay. Now let's print the table. Okay. Select star from employee X. See, we have a table with the IDs, default IDs. Okay, Bhaskar is 1, Nishant is 2, and Ankit is 3. Okay, so you can create like this. I think you can pass the 100. You can pass the starting number. I know. So you can pass something like this. Auto increment as 100. Okay, so 100 will be the starting digit. Yes, Priyanshu.
Sir, if user by mistake enter wrong details, so how can it change
You can delete it now. You can delete it by using the ID.
ID? Okay, sir, if
Or
user
you can
wants to,
update it now.
if
What is
user
the
wants
method?
to add
You can update
surname
now.
or I think in the other
Update
words,
table set. I think I told you now. The command set e name equal to okay ch basket. Okay, where eid equal to 101. You can write this. I think
okay,
we
sir.
have to write update table name. Okay, you can go through the update command if you
Okay,
enter
sir.
the wrong details. Okay. Yes, and sorry, I forgot to create the questions for today. Okay, so tomorrow we will have we will have an exam. Tomorrow we will have a daily assessment. Okay, so today you are having a hectic work, right? So you have to create the DAO object. You have to practice all these things. Okay, please practice all these things. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, and you have to stay in the meeting till 2 o'clock. Okay, don't leave the meeting till 2 o'clock. Before 2. Okay. If you find any issues now, you can leave a message in the chat window. Okay, so that I can see. Okay, because I'm going to have my lunch now, so I don't. I mean, maybe I will be missed your words. Okay, if I'm not there in the session, you can leave a message. And Nishant, you are unmuted. Tell me. Okay. Okay, please hold on in the meeting till 2 o'clock. Okay, so yeah, please complete the today's problems. You can see my repository for your reference. Okay, chalo.